Wolf of Fantasy Sports, DFS Wolfpack, NFL Week 12, first look. Thanksgiving slate Thursday night. Stack Houston, try to get different. Wherever you can get different, good luck. I'm not saying much. It's a 3-game slate. I'm not giving away anything for Thanksgiving unless you follow me on Patreon, and then I'll lay it all out for the Thanksgiving Day slate. NFL Week 12, Draftkings player pricing. Let's get to it. Quarterback position, Kyler Murray. He should be good to go here versus New England. Check all the reports leading up. Check the practice. If he practices in full, you know the rest. Kyler Murray, best quarterback this season by far in fantasy. Get exposure. Always Mahomes, Tampa Bay. Always Mahomes. Never count out Pat Mahomes, one of the best. Josh Allen versus the Chargers. The Chargers play to their competition, so I think Allen's definitely viable. One of my favorite quarterbacks on the week, coming off the bye. I'm going to proceed with caution on Allen. I do think they try to get the run game going. Chargers are giving it up on the ground. Moss is cheap. Singletary is very cheap. In the 20 max, I will have exposure to some of those running backs. It's not ideal, but for GPP, if you're trying to take down a big one, I think they can help you get there, especially if one of them runs in for 2 touchdowns. I'm looking at Herbert. Obviously, you got to have Herbert in your player pool. One of the best rookies I've seen in a long time. I think he gets Rookie of the Year, especially with Burrow out. In this matchup, Buffalo could give it up. Herbert, I think he gets 2-3 touchdowns in this one. It's in Buffalo, so you got to check the weather. Starting to get cold out here, starting to snow. Could be wet, could be snow. So you got to look into the weather. If it's a snow game, if it's wet, cold, rain, which it should be, I'll probably pull back a little bit on Herbert. Maybe only have him in like 2 out of my 20 max. But go with Allen. Allen, I think, is a strong match to put up a big score here at 7,600. Just got to keep in mind, I do think they try to get the running game going. That's the reports that I'm seeing in Buffalo, and that's the talk. Looking at Tom Brady versus KC. This should be a good environment weather-wise for the game. I like both sides. I like Tom Brady. I like Mahomes. I like Mahomes more. But you saw KC struggle with LV. Vegas almost pulled that game out. Mahomes got the ball with 1:30 left. Drove it down the field. Won the game. Touchdown. Kelsey. Brady's going to be able to sling the ball here. He's got 3 good receivers at 3 really good prices. So I like Tom Brady. I like pairing him up with AB and Evans. And you could also sprinkle it in with Godwin. They all saw over 6 targets. He spreads the ball out really well. Looking at Cam Newton, I'm off him this week. I'd rather pay up for Tom Brady, Allen, Kyler. Taysom Hill, well, his price shot up. Put up 25 DraftKings points at 4,800. I'm off him. If he gets the start versus Denver, I don't want no piece of that. Kirk Cousins, 6,100. He put up 20 plus in the last matchup. Everybody got there for the most part, as far as Jefferson, Thielen, Cook. So you could do a full onslaught if you want. I think a lot of people will go back to Cook in this one. So Cousins should see lower ownership. Tua got benched due to performance. He should come out and he should be motivated here. Definitely should be motivated. I won't play him. Look at that Goff. 6,000 at home versus San Fran. He's a GPP viable tournament option. Matt Ryan looked like hot garbage. I'm not playing him here. I do like the price on Julio. If he practices in full, he's a GPP tournament option that has high upside. I touted Julio last minute on Patreon saying Mount Julio eruption. It didn't happen. He only had 18 snaps and he came back out late in the game. Don't even know why, to be honest with you. He was just running on the sideline. He's probably testing out his leg. He got a hamstring issue. He's always been riddled with injuries throughout seasons. It's a tough player, you know, to have in your main build if you put like $100 behind him. But I think you can look at Julio. I'll stay away from Ryan. He looked really bad. Tannehill, I'm off that. Derek Carr looked good versus Atlanta. He should look better. 5,700, viable tournament option. Burrow's out. Rest up, kid. Looks good. Danny Dimes versus Cincinnati. Should be able to put some numbers up, but for that price, I'd rather go with... I don't really like anybody in the 5K range. You got Drew Lock, Sam Darnold possibly. Doubt it, though. Not playing any of these guys. Baker Mayfield, GPP viable, that's it. Lowest quarterback I'm going to take this week is Derek Carr. But my favorite, Mahomes, Tom Brady, Allen, Herbert, and Derek Carr. Might have Derek Carr in cash. So that's the first look. We're going to do a first look build. Now the goal of my first look build is to get to 200 DraftKings points on a Monday on a first look build. Difficult to do, but it's possible. I've done it almost every year, several times. So let's see if we can do it this week. Dalvin Cook, like that. Lock him in. You got Kamara. He didn't get a reception this past week in week 11. So if you look, he only had one target, no reception. So no reception. I'm not going to pay that much. I'd rather play it for Cook. Henry got there in overtime, which was crazy. Did it again. I called it on Twitter. Josh Jacobs is viable. I like him. I like Carr. I like Waller. You can pick one of the receivers if you like. Looking at Chubb at 7,100. I'd rather have Hunt for cheaper. We'll get there. Because Chubb, he lost some red zone work near the goal line, and he's not getting targets. No targets, no receptions. So I'd rather have Hunt. And he's cheaper. So I'm looking at Mixon. Don't know the status, if he's back or not. Same with Eckler. Ronald Jones at 6,100. Yeah, you want to run the ball. Yeah, you want to control the clock versus the Chiefs. So he is viable at 6,100 at home. Good weather environment. I can see that working out. Looking at Harris. Now, Burkhead is out. Torn ACL. So Harris is viable here. You know what New England likes to do. Looking at Hunt at 5,600. I'm locking him in. I just like the price. He gets the targets, and he's starting to see some work around the goal line. So if you look here, 13 attempts, one target. I'll take it at that price. I like that. They like to run the ball. 5,600. I'm going to roll with that. Look at that Todd Gurley. He's somebody. Let's see. We need some more running backs here before I lock him in. Look at that Todd Gurley. I think he's viable, but it's a long shot. Kenya Drake, Edmonds, probably stay away from me. Wayne Gallman, I like the price on him. 5,000 versus Cincinnati. The other quarterback that replaced Burrow, I forgot his name, but he should put them in good field position, maybe create some turnovers. The Giants create some turnovers, and Gallman's in good spots to score, but he's been putting up points, and at 5K, I can see him paying off with 15 plus DraftKings points here. Now, Zach Moss is 4,800. You got Fournette. I'll probably go with Jones over Fournette, but Fournette is sitting there. Looking at Moss at 4,800. You got Hines at 4,600. No Burkhead. You got White. He got a little bit more work. And the targets are nice. So somebody to look at. No Burkhead. If Sony Michel is not playing, I think you could have some exposure to James White. Bell finally got in the box. Took him 4 games. But you got Singletary at 4,200. You got Moss at 48. I think after the bye, they try to get the run game going. The Chargers have given it up. Check the running backs. I'll list that out in the Patreon. The running backs that have exceeded value versus the Chargers. At these prices, mix them up in GPP and low dollar and see if one of them hits. It could be good value for you. I'm not going any lower than that. I think Singletary, James White, Hines versus Tennessee, and Moss are the lowest that I'll go. And Gallman, I like Gallman over all those guys. So Gallman and Hunt. I'm going to throw Hunt in this one. Looking at defense, let's just lock it in. There's a lot of good viable defensive options this week. We got Dolphins, Saints. Now, Drew Lock's turnover-prone quarterbacks. The Saints are at a good spot. If Lattimore's back, that's even better. Dolphins have looked good. Jets, you saw the pick 6 first drive of the game, or, first couple of minutes of the game they got on the Jets. It's funny. It's funny. The Chargers got that shit while I'm on the ground. All right, let's finish this up. Looking at if I'm paying down, you got the Giants. Who else you got out here? You got the Jets possibly at 2,100. You got the Raiders. They look good getting the Mahomes last 2,300. If they could fluster Matt Ryan, he was hanging on the ball too long. He's gonna get sacked here. I think 2,300. I'm gonna pop in the Raiders defense. They look good to me. Versus KC, it's just Mahomes. Looking at Kelsey, Waller. Obviously, Kelsey's the best tight end in the league. Waller looked great, got a touchdown. Versus KC, you got Henry, Ingram. Man, Ingram's a tough pill to swallow if you're putting him in there. Pause. But I can't mess with him At that price, I need him like 4,000. If you're looking down at the tight end position, really don't like any of these guys. You can take a chance on Rudolph. I just don't like it. So Hayden Herrers, man, Matt Ryan's just 2 targets. He didn't do anything. He put up a donut. Noah Fant looks solid at 42. Hunter Henry at 48. Waller at 6,000. I want to correlate somebody with my quarterback, so I'm going to go with Waller, the baller. Now I need some value. Receivers. There's receivers from top to bottom that are in good spots, good prices. Calvin Ridley's, Julio Jones. If you want a GPP, nobody's going to go back to him after getting burned. You got Mike Evans, Godwin, and Antonio Brown. I'm going to lock in Antonio Brown in this matchup versus KC. I think he gets off. I think it's going to be a high scoring. I think that goes over the total. Should be a high total. I'm going to look at, I think all these guys are in play. There's a lot of players, but you're really going to have to correlate your lineups with your quarterback and run it back with somebody. So I got LV versus Atlanta. We got to see if Julio even plays. They might sit him out. Then you can go with Zacchaeus or somebody at 3K. Let's see. Let's go down here. You got Ruggs. You want to pair him up. Bird's price went up. You've got Robinson. I like Robinson at 3,700. So I got Antonio Brown. I got Robinson 3,700. He saw 8 targets. He's involved here. Really like him a lot. If no Sammy Watkins though. I don't know what's going on this area. Not too good. If no Sammy Watkins, Robinson definitely. So that's a wait and see. But for the most part, this is my first look build. I'm going to leave these other 2 spots open because I got to go. I got to call that person back. Good luck for Thanksgiving. Stack Houston, but get different with it because everybody's going to do that. So you got to get a little different, but I think Houston's just clear cut. That's the team you want exposure to. Watson, Thanksgiving, going to ball out. Saw what he did in week 11. 5% ownership. His ownership's going to be through the roof for Thanksgiving. Good luck. It's the DFS Wolfpack, Wolf of Fantasy Sports. I would hate me too. Hit me up. Sign up to Patreon. NBA is right around the corner. That's my bread and butter. That's where I make the most money. Win the 20,000, win the 30,000. It's just, that's my best sport. NFL, kill it too. MLB, got my game up in MLB the last 2 years. You see me win the winner takes alls versus the Chipotle Addicts and the Empire Quakers of the world, the BK Riders and all of them. I win the most in those winner takes alls versus them in basketball, in MLB. I don't play them for NFL, but good luck. Hit me up. Let's get to the top of the GPPs.